Ladies and gentlemen, fans of the Dragon of Dojima, and fellow gamers. Today, I want to take you on a journey, not just through the neon-soaked streets of Shinjuku, but to the sun-drenched beaches of Okinawa. We are talking about the heart of the series, Yakuza 3, and why the world is waiting for a Kiwami 3 remake. Now, for those who don't know, the Kiwami titles are ground-up remakes. They take older games and rebuild them in the modern Dragon engine. We've seen it with the first two games, but Yakuza 3? It stands in a strange spot. It is the oldest-feeling game in the modern series. While the story is a masterpiece, the gameplay is starting to show its age. Today, I'll explain why this specific chapter of Kazuma Kiryu's life deserves the extreme treatment. The story of Yakuza 3 begins in 2007. After the explosive wars of the first two games, Kazuma Kiryu decides to do something no one expected. He retires. He leaves the Yakuza life behind and moves to Okinawa to run the Morning Glory orphanage. This is where the game earns its nickname, the Dad Simulator. For the first few hours, you aren't fighting legendary assassins. You are helping kids with their homework, cooking dinner, and teaching them about life. This is the soul of Yakuza 3. It shows us a side of Kiryu we rarely see, a man who finally found peace. He isn't the fourth chairman here, he is just Uncle Kaz. But, as we know, the past never stays buried. A political conspiracy involving a military base expansion and a resort project threatens the orphanage's land. When his friends in Tokyo start getting shot by a man who looks exactly like his dead father figure, Shintaro Kazama, Kiryu realizes he must put the suit back on. The piece is over. What makes this game, and a potential Kiwami version, so special are the characters. We meet the Ryudo family, a small-time Okinawan Yakuza group. Their leader, Rikiya Shimabukuro, becomes Kiryu's brother. Rikiya is loud, loyal, and has a heart of gold. His journey from a local tough guy to Kiryu's right-hand man provides some of the most emotional moments in the entire franchise. In a Kiwami 3 remake, these emotions would be amplified. Imagine seeing Rikiya's expressions or the children's tears rendered with the high-fidelity facial animations we saw in Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. The story is already a 10 out of 10, but the technology of the original PlayStation 3 era sometimes struggles to convey that depth. A remake would bridge that gap, making the tragedies hit even harder. Now let's talk about why fans really want a remake, the gameplay. In the current remastered version of Yakuza 3, enemies have a habit of blocking every single punch you throw. Fans jokingly call it Block-Uza 3. It can be frustrating, especially for new players coming from the smooth combat of the newer games. A Kiwami 3 would solve this. It would bring back the extreme heat moves and the fluid combat styles from the Dragon engine. Imagine fighting on the beaches of Okinawa with physics that allow you to throw enemies into the water or use the environment seamlessly. And let's not forget the mini-games. Yakuza 3 introduced some of the best side content. From deep-sea fishing to managing a cabaret club, the variety is huge. In a remake, we could have even more expanded karaoke tracks and perhaps even a return of the pocket circuit racing that we all love. Ultimately, Yakuza 3 is a story about home. It asks the question, can a man with blood on his hands ever truly deserve a peaceful life? Kiryu fights not for power, not for money, and not for the Tojo clan. He fights for the smiles of 9 children. The contrast between the calm blue waves of Okinawa and the gray, violent streets of Kamurocho is a metaphor for Kiryu's own internal struggle. He wants to be the man in the Hawaiian shirt, but the world needs the man in the gray suit. In conclusion, while Yakuza 3 Remastered is a classic, A Yakuza Kiwami 3 would be the ultimate tribute to Kiryu's legacy. It would fix the combat, modernize the visuals, and allow a new generation of players. I want to talk about a game that will make you want to keep the lights on tonight. It's called the Ninth Charnel. In the world of indie horror, many games try to jump scare you, but the Ninth Charnel does something different. It crawls under your skin. It is a psychological survival horror game that focuses on a dark, mysterious story and a very unsettling atmosphere. If you enjoy games like Silent Hill or Resident Evil, you need to pay attention to this one. The game follows a young man named Pete. After a strange car accident, he finds himself trapped in a nightmare version of a deserted town, but he isn't alone. What makes this game stand out is the limited visibility and the sound design. You often only have a small flashlight, and the shadows seem to move when you aren't looking. The combat is tense because resources are scarce. You aren't a superhero, you are just a guy trying. I want to introduce you to a protagonist who isn't a shining knight or a brave hero. He is small, he is green, he smells terrible, and he is the best thief in the world. I'm talking about Styx, the legendary goblin from the Styx series. In most action games, you run into a room and fight everyone, but in Styx, if you try to fight 3 guards at once, you will probably die. This is a true stealth game. You play as a 200-year-old goblin who must use his height, or lack of it, to his advantage. You spend your time crawling through sewers, hiding under tables, and clinging to ceilings like a spider. What makes Styx unique is his connection to amber. This magical golden liquid gives him supernatural powers. He can create a clone of himself to distract guards, turn invisible for a few seconds, or use his amber vision to see through walls. But be careful, amber is addictive and hard to find, so you have to be smart about when to use your greed for power. The level design is huge and vertical. You aren't just moving left and right, you are climbing giant towers and jumping across massive airships. Every mission is like a puzzle. How do I get that treasure without being seen? Do I poison the guards' drinks? Or do I loosen? I want to take you into a world where the sun never shines and the past refuses to stay buried. I am talking about a chilling indie horror experience called Unmourned. In most horror games, you have a big gun or a way to fight back, but Unmourned is different. It is a psychological survival horror game that focuses on tension, exploration, and the heavy feeling of being watched. You play as a protagonist who wakes up in a decaying, gothic environment, a place that feels like a forgotten memory or a bad dream. The title itself, Unmourned, suggests that there are souls or secrets here that were never given peace, and now they are reaching out from the darkness. The gameplay is all about the slow burn. You aren't just running away from monsters, you are solving environmental puzzles and uncovering a story through notes and creepy details left behind in the ruins. The visual style is very specific. It uses shadows and lighting to make you second-guess everything you see. Is that a statue in the corner, or is it something breathing? What makes Unmourned stand out is its sound design. The creak of a floorboard, the distant sound of weeping, and the heavy silence between your footsteps create a constant sense of dread. You have to be careful with your resources, like your light source, because once that goes out, you are truly alone with whatever is hiding in the mist. If you are a fan of atmospheric horror, the kind of game that stays in your head long after you turn off the console, then Unmourned is a journey you need to take. Get your katanas ready because today we are talking about the dream of every hardcore gamer, Nioh 3. The Nioh series by Team Ninja is famous for its massacre gameplay, which means it's incredibly difficult but rewarding. We've fought through the Sengoku era and faced terrifying yokai demons, but Nioh 3 promises to take the dark fantasy samurai genre to a whole new level. Imagine faster combat, even more complex stance systems, and the ability to transform into even more powerful guardian spirits. Whether it moves to a new historical period or continues the story of the Shiftling, I want to talk about a world covered in a deadly mist, a world where death is not the end, but the beginning of a nightmare. I am talking about the highly anticipated sequel to a cult classic, Code Vein 2. For those who played the first game, you know that Code Vein wasn't just another Souls-like. It was a stylish post-apocalyptic journey where you played as a revenant, a vampire-like soldier who traded their human memories for supernatural power and immortality. But immortality comes with a price, a constant burning thirst for blood. If a revenant fails to drink blood, they turn into a lost, a mindless monster wandering the ruins of civilization. In Code Vein 2, the stakes are even higher. We are moving beyond the jail of the mist to see what remains of the outside world. The game stays true to its iconic anime aesthetic, but with the power of next-gen consoles, the environments are more detailed, the shadows are darker, and the blood effects are more vivid than ever before. The heart of Code Vein has always been its blood code system. Unlike other RPGs where you are locked into one class, Code Vein 2 allows you to change your entire build on the fly. 1 minute you can be a heavy-hitting warrior with a giant two-handed sword, and the next, you can switch to a caster who uses dark magic to destroy enemies from a distance. This flexibility is what makes the gameplay so addictive. You are never stuck. You are always evolving. Another major feature returning is the partner system. You aren't wandering this lonely, broken world by yourself. You are accompanied by a cast of deep emotional characters like Io or Louis, each with their own tragic backstories. These AI partners don't just help you fight, they protect you, heal you, and make the world feel a little less empty. In the sequel, we expect even more complex gift combinations between you and your partner, allowing for team-based ultimate attacks that look like they came straight out of a high-budget action anime. But we have to talk about the character creator. Let's be honest, half the fun of Code Vein is making the coolest-looking vampire in history. The sequel takes this to the extreme with more accessories, better clothing physics, and infinite ways to express your style. In this game, looking good is just as important as fighting well. To wrap things up, Code Vein 2 is more than just a sequel. It's a promise of a deeper story, faster combat, and a beautiful, tragic world that begs to be explored. It's a game for those who love a challenge, those who love deep customization, and those who aren't afraid of the dark. So prepare your blood veils and sharpen your blades. The red mist is rising once again, and the thirst is never truly satisfied. My Hero Academia, become the #1 hero. Hello everyone! Today I want to talk about a game that lets us answer one of the most exciting questions in the world. What kind of hero would you be if you had a superpower? I am talking about the high-energy world of My Hero Academia. Whether you are playing the Arena Fighter 1's Justice or the massive Battle Royale Ultra Rumble, these games do one thing perfectly. They make you feel the power of a quirk. You get to step into the red boots of Izuku Midoriya, feeling the incredible strength of One for All, or control the fierce explosions of Katsuki Bakugo. What makes these games so fun is the variety. You aren't just punching and kicking, you are using the environment to your advantage. You can freeze the entire ground as Shoto Todoroki, or use gravity to float objects and smash your opponents as Uraraka. Every character feels unique, just like in the anime. The combat is fast, flashy, and filled with the plus ultra spirit that we all love. But it's not just about the fights. These games celebrate the journey of Class 1A. They show us that being a hero isn't just about having the strongest power, it's about teamwork, strategy, and never giving up, even when your back is against the wall. The bright comic book art style makes you feel like you've jumped straight into the pages of the manga. In conclusion, My Hero Academia games are a love letter to fans of the series. They give us the chance to write our own heroic story and prove that anyone can become a hero. So choose your quirk, team up with your friends, and always remember the most. I want to talk about a game that feels like a shadow come to life. It's called Romeo is a Dead Man. Step away from the bright colors of modern gaming and imagine a world of black, white, and gray. You are in a dark city where it's always raining and every corner hides a secret. This is a noir psychological thriller that puts you in the shoes of a man caught in a web of crime and mystery. The game is unique because of its top-down perspective and its incredible use of lighting. You have to use the shadows to your advantage, creeping through the rain-slicked streets of a city that feels like it's trying to swallow you whole. The comic book art style makes every frame look like a piece of art. But don't let the beauty fool you. This world is dangerous. As the title suggests, our protagonist Romeo is in deep trouble. The story is a puzzle, and you have to put the pieces together. It's about choices, consequences, and the ghosts of the past. The jazz-inspired soundtrack and the sound of falling rain create an atmosphere so thick you can almost feel the cold wind. If you enjoy games that focus on story, style, and atmosphere over mindless action, Romeo is a Dead Man is a journey you need to take. It reminds us that in a city of shadows, the truth is the only thing worth dying for. Thank you for listening, and watch your back out there. And that brings us to the end of our journey today. I hope you enjoyed diving into these incredible games with me. If you had a good time and want to see more gaming deep dives, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss an update. Your support means everything, and it helps us grow this amazing community. Turn on those notifications, leave a comment about which game was your favorite, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay legendary, and as always, Plus Ultra!